Welcome to Linguistics. This channel is about all things linguistic, discussing topics in phonetics, phonology, morphology, syntax, semantics, and sociolinguistics. So let's see what we've got today. In the previous video, I talked about articulatory phonetics. So we divided the sounds into two groups, consonants and vowels, right? And then we tried to focus on the consonants for the time being, for which we need to know three features. The first one is voicing, the second one is place of articulation, and the third one is manner of articulation. So today we are going to focus on those a bit more by focusing on the table of consonants as provided in the chart of the International Phonetic Alphabet. Just think of this as a particular alphabet which is phonetic, and what that is I'm going to cover in a different video. But okay, let's stick to this alphabet. So if you go to the top of the chart, then we focus on the top part, which is the consonants. Of course, it's a table, two-dimensional, so we have a row and a column going from the left to the right. If you imagine the picture, the cross-section of a head of a person, as in this picture. In this picture, you have the cross-section, part of the cross-section matching the table. And it's showing that this row bilabial, it's about the lips, labiodental is about teeth, dental, alveolar, going all the way down to the glottis. So going left to right is going from front of the mouth to the back of the mouth and even down to the glottis, which is the vocal folds, space between the vocal folds. Talking about consonants, to produce every consonant, you need two places to be involved to get in some sort of contact with each other to produce a sound. So those places are called places of articulation, and every bit of the place is, so you can refer to any of these as an articulator. For example, for the sound B, the upper lip and the lower lip are involved. So the lips touch each other in a plosive manner. So if you look at the table again, you would see that. So this row is place of articulation. The column going from top to bottom is the manner of articulation. It means the sound B, which I'm showing here, this is the sound B, is produced by involving two lips in a plosive manner. So B is a plosive sound produced by using two lips. And P is also the same, but there is a difference between P and B, which I will explain later. For every sound, two articulators are involved. One is on top of the oral cavity, the mouth, right? The top, which is fixed, right? The hard palate, the upper teeth, they don't move. But the jaw moves, right? So the lower part of the mouth moves. It can move up and down and come into contact with the upper part of the mouth. So whatever you get in the lower part, which moves, they are the active articulators, which come into contact with something on top, which doesn't move, and they are called the passive articulators. For example, if you look at the symbol for F, it says it's a labiodental sound which is produced in a fricative manner. So the first part of this, labio, is the lip. It's the active articulator, which is the lower lip, of course. So the lower lip and dental, the second part of this two-part word, is the passive articulator. So labiodental means lower lip, upper teeth. Okay, in a fricative manner. So I'm going to talk about the manners later. So, but if you try to say the sound fa, you will obviously notice that the upper teeth and lower lips are involved, right? And the sound va, you see, that's also labiodental. When you move to the right or to the back of the mouth, the word is just one part. It's just dental, means tooth or teeth. That's the adjective for that. So, which is only mentioning the passive articulator. So we usually only mention the passive articulator, not the active articulator. In this case, the active articulator is a part of the tongue. And because the tongue has so many different parts, we don't want to get into that discussion. So we just stick to the passive articulator. But for bilabial and labiodental, the active articulator is not the tongue or any part of the tongue, it's just the lower lip. So that's why they are mentioned. But for the rest of these, so for most of which the tongue or a part of the tongue is involved, the active articulator is not mentioned. And we will cover that in a more advanced discussion of phonetics. So just to take a nice break, you see all these words on top, which looks like adjectives. I have prepared a list of the different articulators and the adjective that goes with it. For example, if a sound is produced or articulated using the lip, it's labial. If it's two lips, bilabial. If it's tooth, it's dental, and so on and so forth, right? So in this picture, you only see the passive articulators, not the active ones, right? And it points to the passive articulator involved, velar, velum, or the soft palate. Uvular, uvula. Pharyngeal points to the pharynx here, the pharyngeal wall. And glottal points to the glottis, which is the space between the vocal folds, which is also involved. So in the case of glottis, it's just a space between the two vocal folds. Of course, both the articulators are the two vocal folds, so they just push against each other and they produce a glottal sound. If you go back to the table, then you would say the ta-da. Both of these are alveolar. The active articulator here is a certain part of the tongue. The passive articulator is the alveolar ridge. So both t as in tip or bat and da as in dip or bad, they are both produced in the same place, which is the alveolar ridge. Therefore, they are alveolar. So for now, just focus on the passive articulator. Thanks for your time and attention, and see you again soon.